What's going on, fellas? It's your point guard, Stephen Bardo here. Want to come live to you and talk about next chapter forward and why it is so important. When, we talk about black men having choices, black men making moves, next chapter forward was something I came up with after um, I left the United States after an unfortunate situation. It was a culmination of a lot of unfortunate situations, and I felt like I would be better suited somewhere else. And so it's been birthed out of pain, but a lot of times when you see people go through turmoil or strife or something along that nature, something beautiful is birthed out of that. And that's what I believe next chapter forward is. Um, who am I? I'm a point guard, I'm a championship leader, and I'm a sovereign black man. And this is what we stress in next chapter forward. I'm I played 10 years professionally, had great college career, been in, broadcast games with every network you can think of. But this right here, maybe outside of basketball, because basketball is my first love. But this right here, this is where I needed to be. The creator put me here in this role with all the experience that I have and what I went through. And to make the bold step of leaving the United States, really, I mean, I didn't necessarily have a plan. I just knew that I needed to get the hell out of the United States. I did know that. And so this is what I'm building with next chapter forward. And I want you guys to understand that, I'm here to assist black men that want to leave the United States. But if the information, if there's white woman, white man, Latino woman, Latino man, whatever, if the information helps you, so be it. I'm not here to gatekeep, but I am focusing directly on my black men because I think we need it. I'm online a lot. I do a ton of research, and I don't see a lot of groups specifically geared towards black men. I see a lot of groups specifically geared towards black women, which I love and I appreciate, but we need it as well. Okay, so that's the impetus for next chapter forward. I'm going to build this community like a basketball team because that's what I know. That's my background. I've been able to lead teams to championships. I've been at the front door a number of different times at different stages of my career at the championship level and just didn't break through. But ironically, the last game of my professional basketball career, I walked off the floor as a champion. After 10 years, I hung up the shoes and picked up the mic. But if I know anything, I know basketball better than anybody on the planet. And I'll go to my grave with that. I'm a pattern recognition expert. And I'm also a good energy reader. I can read people pretty quickly. So in order to build teams, you have to have a common thread. And the common thread on all my basketball teams was that we're there to win championships. Why else are you playing? So with next chapter forward, we're building championships for each of our members because some of the members in next chapter forward may not want to leave the United States, and that's fine because I was so focused on just the relocation part with black men leaving the United States. That is a big part of it, but there also needs to be a nurturing aspect for next chapter forward. Why do I say this? Because I was talking to my best friend, and we try to talk every day, especially since I left the United States and moved to Mexico. And he shared a story that broke my heart. Um, he was talking about his son, who's a junior in college. This kid has lost 5 male friends this year alone. 5. I've lost friends, but it's been scattered over years. I've never lost anybody close to me like that number in such a short amount of time. So this young man is dealing with 5 of his friends that are gone, 3 by suicide, 2 by car accidents. Let that marinate for a second. So for me, and this is why times have changed, and this is why I'm going to add this portion of next chapter forward, because if these young brothers are having issues when they're supposed to be enjoying the best times of their lives, then I know there are men my age that need connection, that need brotherhood. One of the reasons why I've really blended in here in Playa del Carmen so flawlessly, in my opinion, is one of the big reasons that we have a Black men's group. We go to dinner every Thursday night, and it's almost like the people at the restaurant have to kick us out because we're having too much fun. Black men, as you know, we communicate in our own unique way. Not even black women know most of it, but some of it Black women don't even know. We have our own unique ways of communicating. A lot of times we can look at each other with a certain facial expression and know exactly what we're thinking. Okay, so I think it's imperative that even if Black men that you're tuning in, even if you choose not to join Next Chapter Forward, I encourage you to get in fellowship with other Black men. It's critical, fellas. It's critical. This young man that I was referencing, my best friend's son, my nephew, I can't imagine what it's like to lose 5 close friends. Friends that I'm frat brothers with, friends that I, went to high school with and now in college with. I can't imagine that, right? So I think this is a critical point in our journey as Black men to come together in fellowship. Okay. Now, next chapter forward will be about, helping Black men relocate. But this is what we're about right here. Point guard, me, championship leader, me, and a sovereign Black man, me. And the only reason I'm putting this out here is because I need to be an example for some of the other guys that's on my team, right? The people that will join next chapter forward more than likely have a curiosity or a deep yearning to do what I'm currently doing, right? I mean, I've got some people who have bought my product, Find Your Country in 72 Hours. There's a white female. There's a Black female. I don't want to put his name out there, but there's a guy that played basketball at the same college that I did. That's a white guy that's on my email list. He gets all my emails. So I understand that I'm targeting Black men, but this stuff, the things that I'm trying to share and build, anybody can take advantage of. Anybody can utilize the information and use it for your own purposes. Okay. So that's what we're going to do in next chapter forward. I know this is tough. I'm trying to figure out how to put links in, and maybe I could have done it in the comment section like this, but it's still not a particular link. So I'll keep working on that so that you guys don't have to do extra work. But if you'd be so kind, if you want to join next chapter forward, pause the video, take the URL, and go to next chapter forward Facebook page. Okay, because I can go live there, and then once I figure out how to really decide whether guys are really serious about the relocation portion, then I'll invite you into the next chapter forward group. Okay, so that's how it's going to go right now. Again, guys, this is a journey that is evolving every day for me. It's a fantastic journey. There are hard days. I have lonely days. I have hard days. I went to the electric company yesterday to pay the bill, to come to find out that I didn't have to do it that way. But the lady that I'm dealing with is not particularly strong in communication. And I'm describing her very pleasantly compared to how I think about her really. So I have frustrating times. There are times when I go out in the community and I'm learning Spanish, but I don't know a lot of Spanish yet. I know enough to get by, but the fact that I'm putting myself out there, and it's like I don't care about being uncomfortable, right? That's hard for a lot of people. I got that through playing basketball and being overseas when I was playing basketball in different countries. And I didn't have a choice sometimes in Italy, in Spain, in Japan, because my family needed something. I had to go out in community and figure out a way to communicate. That was before Google Translate. That was before all these cell phones, guys. That's when you really had to get out and study books to learn language or to pick up words and then go try to exchange with people, right? That's what Next Chapter Forward is all about. Because unfortunately, when you live in the United States, the powers that be, the system that is set up in the United States, does not encourage us as US citizens to think outside of the United States, to think about, oh, wow, it'd be cool to learn another language. Yes, there's US citizens that study other languages, but I bet the percentages are very low in terms of the population at large. And so a lot of times people want to make moves like I've made, but they fear the language barrier. They fear looking silly or looking uneducated. That stuff doesn't exist overseas, guys. It doesn't exist. That's unique to the United States. Having fear of approaching another human being that squats and shits just like you do. Think about that for a second, right? That's my grandma, Sally Walker, that taught us that. Whenever we were talking like, oh, wow, Michael Jordan's this, she would let me finish. And then she like, does he put his pants on like you do? And it was like, okay, grandma, I got you. But it's true. So if you guys are considering relocating out of the United States, one of the things I want you to consider is and the only way you're going to be able to do it is to travel. You're going to have to drop a lot of the stuff that you picked up in the United States. A lot of the bullshit that we deal with from an interpersonal communication perspective, from trying to look a certain way, trying to present yourself a certain way, that shit doesn't matter overseas. Do you have money for rent? There is no credit score in Mexico or in most countries for that matter. Do you have the money for rent? Oh, you do? Okay, sign this here. Yeah, there's legal tender that you have to read and to understand. No doubt, right? But the things that we concern ourselves with in the United States is garbage, in my opinion, because it does not apply when you leave the United States. You don't have to have this armor when you're overseas. People may look at you, they look at me sometimes because I'm 6'6" and I'm black with this salt and pepper, mainly salt hair. They look at me out of curiosity more than anything. Yes, there's colorism here in Mexico, but it does not hit like racism in the United States. Nothing hits like the racism in the United States that particularly black people experience. Okay? I've been in 23 different countries around the world. I think I'm well versed enough to speak on this. All right. So understand that when you want to make this move, you're going to have to overcome a lot of fear that is what they say fear is facts, false, something appearing real. Help me out, guys. Get it. If you're on right now, help me out with that. There's an acronym for fear. But I'll come up with it in a second. What's up, Steph? All my international friends speak English. Only a few of my American friends speak any other language. There you have it. Thank you, Steph. Steph hit it on the head, man. So guys, there's a lot of fear around leaving the United States. There's a lot of propaganda that we're fed. There's a lot of things that are said to us that actually don't apply when you leave the United States. And listen, guys, I'm not trying to dog the U.S. I love the United States. That's where I'm from. That's where my family is. That's where I got all of my experience. A lot of my experience from. I'm not a United States basher. I don't have to do that. That's not what this is about. I don't want to make anybody upset by what I'm saying, but what I'm telling you is if you take a scouting trip outside the United States to a country that you think you might be interested in, how would you figure out the scouting country that you want to go to? Consider purchasing my product called Find Your Country in 72 Hours. This is a PDF guide that will take you through a series of exercises that will allow you to narrow down your choice of places that fit your budget, your age, your visa, whatever visa you may need to get, and a lifestyle that you want to lead. Some people want moderate weather. Medellin, Colombia is the place for you. Some people like it hot like I do. Playa del Carmen, Cartagena, Colombia, Barranquilla, Colombia, any place in Central America for the most part. There are certain places in Costa Rica that are rainforests that are moderate, but Find Your Country in 72 Hours helps you figure out these different criteria that are directed for you specifically, if that makes sense. I know I kind of jumbled there for a second, but consider getting Find Your Country in 72 Hours, okay? That will help you figure out the country that you want to go and scout at. Once you go to that country that you're scouting, you will kind of see, hopefully you get more than a week. I know that's tough for a lot of people, working class people who have jobs. I know that's hard, but consider taking a vacation. Try to get more than 7 days, because at the 8-9 day mark, right in that area, you start to get, it's like, okay, the newness has worn off. I got to go out into the community. I got to go try different things, put myself in different scenarios. That's when you really find out how easy, guys, it is. If you don't, one of the 100 reasons why I really love Mexico, if you don't speak a lick of English, let me give you an example. I speak enough Spanish to get the conversation going. I'm going to that electric company that I told you about earlier, and I'm sitting there and I know I'm like, wait a minute. A guy told me, I can't remember the name for blocks, but he said derecha. Izquierda is left, derecha is right. So I thought he said izquierda, but he meant derecha, or so I thought. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and I said, you know what? There's a guy working on a car. I said, disculpe, ayudarme por favor, which means, excuse me, can you help me, please? De donde esta? And I pointed to the electric bill. He says, oh, okay. Go up one block and then derecha. I said, oh, muchas gracias. This dude is working on a car. He's a mechanic. He stopped what he was doing, looked at what I'm asking him. He kind of figured it out. And he's like, oh, okay, I know. And he pointed me in the right direction. Guys, that happens every day here. That happens all over the world, right? Now, I'm not naive enough to think that if you go in certain countries and you go in certain areas and people try to take advantage of you, they have that here in Mexico as well. That's here as well. They'll beat you out if you're a mark. So don't be a mark, but, you know, approach people with respect and kindness, and more than likely, you will get that in return in spades outside the United States. Okay. I think I covered it. Wait a minute. I got one more comment. Oh my goodness. False evidence appearing real. Now, isn't this something? For those of you that don't know, this gentleman right here was one of the baddest basketball players that ever put on a University of Missouri jersey. Played in the NBA for the Houston Rockets. Dang, DC. I can't remember where else he played. Brother who? Y'all remember the Band-Aid Man? Derek Chivas, New York's finest. Come on now. False evidence appearing real. You guys will understand this when you leave the country. That a lot of stuff that you fear about being overseas is false evidence. It's not there. The fears that you have in the United States, a lot of them are false evidence if you really sit back and think about it. If you look at it. You get yourself out of your comfort zone. You get yourself out of your ruts. Okay? So, DC, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Let's see. Oh, okay. What's up, Nick? I'm the guy who we first met at the Y. I was wondering where you were. Didn't see you at the Sky Games. Love what you're doing. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it, man. It's been a great journey. Again, it hasn't been all. I don't want to paint a picture, guys, that all your problems will disappear when you leave the country, because what happens is who you are in the United States is going to be who you are in Mexico. If you're an a-hole in the United States, you'll be an a-hole in Mexico, right? Your problems don't disappear, but what disappears is the perceived pressure, right? When you don't have to pay an $800 car note every month and then pay $300 of car insurance on top of that, then pay $100 a week, say if you commute for work, then the maintenance cost of the car, right? I'm just talking about a car. I ain't talking about rent mortgage, because I blow your mind, and I'll say that for another lie. But when you have financial pressure released from you from a day-to-day standpoint, you will start to understand that some of the things that we thought were important and real in the United States are really not. Okay? Now, again, I'm not trying to bash the U.S. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to encourage Black men that if they want to be in a group of other Black men, please consider joining Next Chapter Forward. All right, we're going to do some great things in here. I have Wellness Wednesday. So every Wednesday, I'm coming with something health related, right? It's not all relocation. No. If we're trying to be sovereign Black men, do you guys know what sovereign means? It means that you take responsibility for everything that happens in your life. In doing so, when you take onus for your life, then you don't have to ask permission to do what you need to do. If you have a yearning, if you know that the Creator put you here for something bigger than what you're currently doing, and you think you can manifest that somewhere else, then as a sovereign Black man, it's your duty to seek that out. The Creator didn't give us talents to sit there and be 25% of what we could be, to be 50% of what we could be. The Creator gave us talents to share with the world. It's not for our own gain. We're here to serve others. And in doing so, when you serve others, your needs will be met and then some. The overflow will be there. But if you know in your heart of hearts, Black men, that you want to become a sovereign Black man, seriously consider joining Next Chapter Forward. Okay? All right. Dang, this went longer than I thought. And I thought I was going to be talking to myself today. This is good. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I haven't gone live in a while. I'm going to try to do this a little bit more consistently. I'll get a time. I know this time is kind of funky right now, but I'll figure out a time, and I might try to do this 2 or 3 times a week, because I think the live portion with having gentlemen like Steph Burns, Derek Chivas, Nick Saunders, I really think that this would help a lot of Black men in terms of us having fellowship. As I said at the beginning, guys, we need fellowship. If our young men are committing or taking their lives, there's a problem. There's something going on. And if it's affecting young men, it's affecting us too. So we need to get to the bottom of it. We need to get in community with each other and support one another to lift each other up. It's very, very important. Okay? All right. You guys take care. I appreciate you coming on. Consider joining Next Chapter Forward. And until next time, holla, y'all.